What is happening, Net J Gaming Dude here, and welcome to Izakaya Nobu, an izakaya that has a very interesting secret about it, which is to say that the front door connects to another world altogether. And I am here to talk about the anime, Isekai Izakaya Koto Aiteru no Izakaya Nobu. So Isekai Izakaya is pretty much it aired in 2018 and is I talk a lot of smack about Isekais. Both words start with I. It's funny that I'm now mixing up the two. I talk a lot of smack about Isekais. I don't like Isekais. I will not make any excuses to say that Isekais are good. Usually they're either average or god awful, but then there are some that are very much in the realm of good, but they are so few and far between because of how prevalent they are in anime currently. And so Isekai Izakaya is about an izakaya that leads into another world, essentially the front door. So for some reason the back door still leads to like the normal world, and then the front door is what connects the izakaya to literally just like another world altogether. And obviously when we're talking about another world, we're talking about, it's fantasy. It's a fantasy world. And it's an entertaining show because it does something that isekais generally don't, which is it focuses on the introduction of food from the normal world to another world through the staff members of Izakaya Nobu, which is the name of the izakaya, and is named after the main chef, Nobunai or something like that. I can't remember his name exactly, but yeah, something along those lines. He's got Nobu in his name. That's essentially what I'm getting at. And so yeah, we've got our three main staff members. So we've got Shinobu, which is the sort of like, main girl who takes orders and actually no, she takes orders, does cooking, cleaning, and some other stuff. We've got the main chef dude who does most of the cooking and is pretty much like the sort of the head of the entire restaurant. And then we've got this little girl who does waitering every now and again as sort of like a part-time job. And the anime, the way this thing is presented, by the way, it's only 15 minutes long per episode, 24 episodes total. And the way in which it's presented is 10 minutes of the episode is characters from the other world get introduced to the izakaya, or there, some sort of food is provided, and then they go into detail about, what makes that piece of food good. So if anything, it's less of an isekai and more of a food anime that just focuses on a particular piece of food, what makes it unique, what makes it taste good, and then they take, sometimes in episodes they talk about multiple different types of food. They'll take one very specific meal from that, and for the final 5 minutes, which is kind of dubbed Nobu Plus, or Nobu Plus, which is essentially either one of two old Japanese dudes, one who is a chef that would then try to cook that selected meal from the main show, or this other old Japanese dude who goes and finds restaurants in nearby, like that are near train stations that, have that particular food that was selected from the main show as a specialty that is served in an actual restaurant in real life. Now, in saying that, all of this was pre-COVID, so it's, I think, fair to say that some of these shops may, and I'm trying to be very optimistic, may no longer be open, but it is definitely worth checking out, if not for the aspect surrounding the whole idea of what it means to, if you're looking at, what's the word, tourism, if not from like the food point of view, at least for the tourism point of view, which is what Nobu Plus essentially does. So again, you might either learn how to cook something or learn about a neat restaurant that you might want to visit if you are ever in Japan, which is really cool because they literally give you the address as well as like a photo of what the place looks like at the end of the episode with like in the background, the photo of the old Japanese dude that actually went around to the restaurant. So, with all that said and done, I think that it is a okay watch as an actual show itself, and it works well because it's unique in the sense that it is partly a tool for tourism, and it works really well just for that. So it does do a good amount in a way that you wouldn't recognize, because again, how often do you actually watch an anime and actually get introduced to things that exist in the real world, literally giving you a map and giving you the address and being like, look at this place, this is an actual shop in Japan, you can go to it, you can have their food, and they specialize in some good stuff, let me tell you. Like, it's not usual that you see that, and I genuinely appreciate that. Now the isekai aspect rather is just thrown in there for novelty, but the novelty obviously wears off fairly quickly when you realize that there are way too many isekais currently. So all in all, it's the izakaya part that is actually more unique and actually does lend itself well, especially if you've seen a show like Wakakozake, which is about this older lady, probably like in her late 20s, maybe 30s, I don't know, kind of within that age range, as she eats food and drinks an alcoholic beverage that suits that particular meal or works really well. So all in all, I think that we could definitely take a lot out of what we get from that. So if you've seen Wakakozake and you're just absolutely enthralled by the enjoyment of other people eating food, and would like to try that food out yourself by learning how to cook it, or hell, just learning where to get that particular food from that might be specialized in that sense, then definitely worth a watch. I'm going to be giving this a 6 out of... Actually, should I give it a 6? No. I'm leaning between a 6 and a 7 right now. As an anime, it's a 6. So I'm going to be giving it a 6 out of 10, but with the addition of it being a tourism tool, it definitely deserves that 7. It just needed a bit more of an overarching plot between the episodes to keep things expedient and kind of a little bit more to the point, because it's more of an episodic fashion, but due to it being more episodic, it doesn't hold itself well to there being multiple episodes. But that's it for me. Yeah, I'll be giving that a 6 out of 10 when I log into my mail, because I've forgotten my password yet again, as I usually do. And I will, once I reset my password, I will see you guys next time.